Hi, I'm Matt Harlow from DJ Case at Locavore.Guide. And today we're going to talk about how you can use marketing to attract students to your Locavore hunting and angling program. We've all seen the ORAM. I showed it to you a couple lessons ago myself. We're not going to really talk about the ORAM now so much as about R3. And what R3 really is, from our standpoint at least, is when you apply marketing to the ORAM. So you can use messages and marketing to help attract people in at the recruiting phase and retain them and reactivate them in other phases. And if you really want to take this to its ultimate level, you use different messages to speak to different audiences to get them in at that recruitment phase. And then once they're in, you can almost say pretty much the same things to them to retain them and reactivate them. But really, to get them in at the beginning, you need to speak to their motivations and why they're interested in fishing or why they're interested in hunting. And as we thought about this, it's really a lot like fishing in the sense that prospects are like fish. There are hundreds of different species of fish with different habitats, different habits, that behave in different ways. They eat different things. And if you want to be successful fishing for one of those types of fish, you need to decide what fish you're fishing for, learn about that fish, and fish for that species. You fish for sharks way differently than you fish for bass. So if you think about this, you need to think about what is it that your potential participants want. You need the right bait to attract the right fish. You need the right message to attract the right prospect. Messages are bait. And what about your program will attract different people and motivate different people to come and learn how to be hunters or anglers. So where should you fish for participants? If all I said to you is, here's all this water, go fishing, and you had no knowledge other than that's water and fish live in water, it would be really hard to pick where to go. But as you add knowledge to the mix and you understand the habits of the different fish and the prey of the different fish, you know where to go. So just like that, you need to learn about your prospects to help you decide where to go look for them. So basically, if you want to maximize your chances for success, you want to go to the right habitat or the right location. That's media. Where are the locavores absorbing messages so you can put your message there too? And then you want to get out there with the right bait, the right message. So if you fish in the right place with the right bait, you catch fish. Marketing is exactly the same way. So let's dig into media and really talk about how this is going to work for you and your locavores. So just like we talked about before, if you don't know where to fish in all this water, it's tough to decide where to put down the anchor. So what is it that we know about our target audience, locavores? We know a lot of things. We know they're quite likely millennials. We know that they could very well be educated professionals, that they're more female than the traditional R3 audience, that they're more likely to be urban or suburban, that they quite possibly are in a committed relationship, and that they may even have kids. We know that they're interested in sustainable local food. We know that they're interested in healthy, pure food. We know that there's a good chance they garden or maybe raise livestock or chickens or something like that. And we even know something about their media use. So we did a survey of a group of locavores, and we said to them, which of these media are you likely to use to learn about new food or new ways to get food? And these are the people who said that they were very likely to use a potential media outlet. So 84% said they were very likely to visit websites. 68% said they were very likely to ask friends or relatives. 45% said they were likely to watch online videos. 38% said they were likely to read a book. 38% said they were likely to take a class. 27% said they were likely to read a magazine. And 26% said they were likely to watch relevant TV shows. And 6% said they'd ask employees in a retail store. So What we know here is these are places you might want to run messages. And it looks, if you look at this list, particularly like you might want to run messages on websites or in online video. So we asked them a second question. We said, which of these media outlets do you find very effective if you want to learn how to harvest wild foods? 25% said word of mouth, 20% said social media, 20% said a flyer or a poster in a farmer's market or a food co-op or somewhere like that. 19% said online advertising, 17% said ads on local TV, 17% said a news story on local TV or radio or in the paper, 15% said the co-op newsletter, 15% said local radio, and 10% said local newspaper. So what you've got here is, yeah, it looks like online scores a little higher, but a lot of traditional news outlets are very effective. That's a pretty high rating to say that social media is very effective if I want to learn to harvest wild food. So again, these are some places you might want to consider advertising to reach people who are interested in renewable, sustainable food sources. So we went further. We said, what media to use almost daily? Again, these are self-described locavores. 54% visit websites for any number of reasons. 43% listen to the radio. 42% watch TV. 38% use social media. 28% look at online video. And these are a few years old, so that's probably even higher. 18% listen to online music, and 14% read the newspaper. So again, you look at all three of these sets of data, online looks really good. Some other potential outlets look really good as places that you might want to reach out to food motivated individuals. So then there was a piece of research that said, where do millennials begin an information search? And if you look right here, bam, Google and other online search engines are 90% always and 50% most often. So obviously online is the place you want to start if you're after millennials. Media consumption statistics. Let's not bother to look at the whole thing. Let's just look at the bottom two. And by bottom, I mean at the bottom of the graph. They're the top performers. Online, sure, it's the most for the younger group, but it's still really significant, almost 50% when you get to the older group. And broadcast TV, while it's again a little thinner at the top, is still significant. So if you looked at broadcast TV and online, and if you've got a little lower budget, just online, you're going to reach all those people pretty well. So here's our first exercise. List 10 ways that you could reach locavores with your messages. And what I mean by 10 ways is these are media outlets, and don't get wrapped up in the traditional definition of media. It's any way that you could get a message from one person to another. So a flyer at the grocery store, a booth at the farmer's market are all ways to get in front of these people. So it could be places they go, like stores or restaurants or clubs. It could be media that might read or watch or listen to, or it could be activities that they already participate in. After you've listed your 10, pick your 5 favorite, and then look online and find actual businesses or locations or media outlets, whatever it is you've listed, in your 3 target cities. And you can see here how this information is going to start to contribute to your plan and make that generic plan into a plan for you. So like always, I'll wait here for you. 10 ways to reach locavores. Look up your favorite 5. That's going to take a while. I'll see you when you're back. All right, thanks for hanging in and coming back. I hope you're doing your homework as you go. It's going to make life a lot easier. So let's move on from here. What else do we know about our target market? So these are the demographics of adult R3 program participants. So just slightly more female than male. 27% 35 to 44, 23% 45 to 54, 19% 25 to 34. Big chunk, add all that together, is 25 to 54. They are 89% Caucasian. They 98.5% have graduated high school, 45% have graduated college, 59% come from a small town or rural. What can you do with that kind of information? So a lot of media outlets will provide you with their demographics. So if you say to the radio station, who listens to your radio station, they'll have demographics for you. So you can compare that demographic to your audience and you can say, ooh, good match, or you can say bad match. Or you can say, hey, look, if you use the stats we just looked at a minute ago, that says that you are looking for suburban or rural audience. Well, then subway posters, meaning posters in the subway transit line, not posters in the subway restaurant, are a good way to reach urban people, but that's a bad way to reach people that live in small towns, if that's your target market. If you were after blue collar people, you might do a billboard by a factory. If you're after people that go to the farmer's market, you might do a billboard by the farmer's market. Also, you can use these stats, these demographics that we saw a minute ago, just to enhance your personas. So anything that you know about your target audience should fuel your persona, fuel your media choices, etc. And the other thing you want to do is if you're building messages and there are photos or drawings or whatever sort of illustrations of people in them, the people in your messages should reflect the people you're after. So if you're after women of color, then your ad should have women of color in them, not say white men, the opposite thing of women of color. Prior activities that people participated in before an R3 program. So 90% had freshwater fished, 69% had target shot with a rifle, 61% had target shot with a handgun, 55% had hunted with a rifle or a shotgun, 54% had saltwater fished, and 51% had shot archery. 97% had participated in at least one outdoor activity. So what this says is the people that are participating in traditional R3 programs are people that have done outdoor activities. So if you could find sort of a nexus between these outdoor people and the food people, those are probably the prime candidates to come into a new Locavore Hunter Angler program. What can you do with this information on activities? You can find retailers or organizations to partner with that speak to the niches of people. So it could be health food, it could be sporting goods, it could be a marina, it could be a civic group. You can find retailers or clubs, etc., that have low-cost media options. At the very low end of the spectrum is the bulletin board at the grocery store, right? Some grocery stores and especially some clubs have newsletters and websites that there might be opportunities for you to just provide content for or to literally advertise in. And a club would be really grateful for the income that to you is a very small advertising investment. You can also advertise in more traditional but niche media. I'm a big paddler. I read paddling magazines. There are people that are bird watchers. They go to birdwatcher.org. And the more niche a thing is, generally the less expensive it is because the fewer people read it. Sports Afield or Cosmopolitan or some magazine that millions of people read is going to be more expensive than Kayak Angler, which is a magazine I read. And then you can think about where these interests physically take people, right? If you're a boater, you have to go to the boat ramp. If you're a mountain biker, you have to go to the bike trail. If you camp, you have to go to the state park. These are places that you quite possibly have affiliations with. They can get you on bulletin boards, in programs, et cetera, et cetera. And that even doesn't count, say that you know that they go to the skate park and that you don't have anything to do with the skate park. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't put up, say, outdoor on the way to the skate park. So this is a bunch of ways that you can use this activity data to help you find potential media outlets. So let's do that. We're going to essentially repeat the same exercise as before, except this time you're trying to reach people who are 20 to 35 years old who recreate outdoors, but don't necessarily hunt or fish. So list 10 potential ways that you think, based on what you know, either from this or from life in general, ways to reach 20 to 35-year-olds who recreate outdoors. And once you've got your 10, again, they could be places people go, media they might read, activities they might participate in. Once you've got your 10, pick your favorite 5, get online and look up actual businesses. So say that they all go to the sporting goods store. Look up sporting goods stores in your 3 cities. Or you believe they all listen to country radio, then look up country radio stations in your 3 cities. But for 5 of those potential media outlets, look up real places in your 3 cities. Again, that's all going to go in your marketing plan and make it a real marketing plan at the end of the day. So in the beginning, we didn't know where in all this water to fish. You're going to use this research and other knowledge that you have about your target audience and your personas to pinpoint some spots. And those are the media outlets that you want to use to reach outdoorsy people or foodie people, or even better, foodie outdoors people. So that's it for today. Thanks for spending the time. We'll see you in the next lesson, where we're going to talk about messages to put in this media to really get those people to come to class. Thanks a lot. Remember to do your exercises if you haven't. See you soon.